Basically, you're throwing across the opposite hand.
Hmm.
And you can do it opposite, inside to outside, or outside to inside.
Wow.
A lot of people will do you do two balls, like this. Is that how you do that?
Yeah.
That's hard when you get to the third ball. You can do that, but if you notice, it's a little different, and there are quite often two balls in the air.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wow.
Whereas when you do this way,
Yeah.
most of the time there's just one ball in the air.
Yeah.
When I start throwing them higher, so cascade's easier.
Wow.
So if you want to learn to cascade, there are two things. There's lots of YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get to it, but most juggling things you can break it down into components. So the way you learn on this one is you throw it, and before it lands in your hand, you want this ball to be out of it, right?
Wow.
So you just do that. But you're practicing with two instead of with three, and you're not handing off. You have to recognize it. I mean, that's a legitimate juggle, but it's not the juggle, the simple juggle. And then if you get it with the right, then you switch and throw the other hand first, and practice that.
Wow.
And then, of course, the next step is, two in this hand, you start with the two, and before it comes down, you throw the other one, and you're juggling. And then sometimes you learn how to do two in one hand, right? If I can do two in this
One hand?
if I can do two in that hand, and I can do two in this hand,
How many years you're practicing it? Four?
wow, I've done it this way. It's been obvious what I've been doing.
Ah. That's sweet.
And I'm working on
Yeah.
5, but I'm not very good at it yet.
Oh.
The most I do
5.
is
Okay.
I've gotten over 20 a number of times, but
So till 4 you are comfortable really, but 5 you
Yeah.
are working on.
yeah. And there's a lot of different patterns on these things. Like several patterns of 4 are helpful for learning how to do 5. I mean, you can do a crossover like that, except that, oh, of course that's there.
How long have you been practicing it?
Well, it's
From-
been inconsistent. I mean, I'm pretty sure I learned to juggle when I was a kid playing baseball. So I learned to juggle baseballs, and then I probably juggled a little bit here and there. But when I was a young adult, I started. Yeah, a few of those are pretty nice. When I was a young adult, I had an opportunity to juggle some more. I mean, I was on a soccer team, and one of the guys there did some magic, and he juggled, and he juggled cigar boxes and stuff like that. So I got interested in it about the time I got my kids, and I wound up getting clubs. They look like bowling pins, but they're really only a little heavier. These are probably about 4.5 ounces, and the clubs are about 8 ounces. They're plastic, but they're sturdy plastic.
Okay.
I also have some rings. So that was when I was, in my 30s.
30s?
My dad gave me a unicycle for Christmas after my 38th birthday, and I taught myself to ride it. And I got good enough at it that I could juggle while riding the unicycle. I could even juggle my clubs. But then, it just got away from it a little bit. But in the last several years, I think I was mentioning to you and all, because we had a family reunion, I started juggling again, and then I found YouTube videos, including one that was how to do 5 balls. And back when I was doing 4, I had tried 5, and it was looked hopeless. And at that point, somebody had said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, juggling 3 balls is a 2. Juggling 4 balls is a 7. Right? Juggling 5 balls, maybe you said 4. But juggling 5 balls on a scale of 1 to 10,
8 or
juggling
something.
5 balls is a 32. And for what it's worth, I mean, I have always said, but for two different reasons, that I would encourage anybody to learn to juggle. You got to really want to learn to unicycle before. I would never encourage anybody to learn to unicycle because it's two things. It's an unnatural act. It's very hard to learn, but it's a little bit dangerous. I mean, you're not
It's not
likely to hurt
dangerous.
yourself
Yeah.
juggling balls, but you know, you can fall off and crack your noggin if you're riding a unicycle.
Can you do that again? That the first thing you did, the first juggling.
The
Yeah.
first one, you mean? This
Yes,
this
yeah.
is called a shower.
Shower. Okay.
Yeah. Whereas this is called a cascade.
Cascade. Okay.
And the shower, and of course, all of these things you wanna learn how to be symmetrical with them, or do it either right-handed or left-handed.
Oh, it's really good.
One of the things I've learned over time, I mean, since I started going to the Texas Juggling Society meetings and stuff, is because they put on an annual show, and I've got a couple of flyers there for the Juggle Fest.
Yeah.
They put on the show, and they need it costs something to put on shows like that and bring in outside entertainers.
Hmm.
So we do volunteer gigs. People, you know, will ask us to come out and have jugglers.
Okay.
And I do some of those volunteer gigs. But what I've learned is that people who take pictures of you juggling like this, almost every picture comes out with one ball in the air.
Wow.
And they get disappointed. So if I see somebody who's about to take a picture with the camera, I switch to doing the shower so that there's
But it will not. It will not happen with my DSLR though. It can take fraction of a second of 1,000 fraction of a second.
Yeah,
It can take
yeah.
at the most. So,
So the point is,
but the normal camera can't.
well, but even on
capture
that,
it.
you may get a little blurring. But the big thing is that there's only a short period of time when you're throwing this one as this is coming down
Yeah.
when there's more than one ball in the air.
Exactly.
Whereas this one, you have to get the ball out of this hand while there are two in the air.
Yep.
So it looks more like juggling when people see a picture of a shower and
Exactly.
they see the cascade.
Yeah.
So.